What's up, everybody? It's your boy Savage. Welcome back to Savage Studios. Much love, much respect. Rad Dad in the building, though. I had to wake it up bright and early for you guys. You already know. So today we're going to be sharing a little story, man. Shout out Young Bear, man. Shout out Cricket. Pico Nuevo, man. Much love. We're going to be talking about a melee that your boy was in the Dayroom, man. This one was fun. A little bit unexpected, but nonetheless, we had fun with it. Wasn't supposed to happen. I wasn't even supposed to come out to Dayroom, but let this story be kind of a lesson to you guys that if your gut tells you to stay in, if you have the option to stay in, then just stay in. You feel me? Because 9 times out of 10, your gut will go off before something happens. You have this instinct. Every person, every individual, male or female, has this innate instinct to see things coming, to just kind of know. So if you learn to listen to your body, you won't fall victim to these circumstances and situations, kind of like I did. So anyways, it's like 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. You know, your boy's chilling, man. I used to work out at yard all day long, play handball. This was in Pleasant Valley, man. So it was really hot. It would get really hot. It's like Central Valley area. So maybe like Fresno-ish type area. Kalinga going out that way. All those prisons are very hot. You know, Corcoran, Kern Valley, Pleasant Valley, all those prisons, you know, even High Desert, all those ones that get really hot during the summertime. We're talking easily over 100 degrees, you know what I mean? And you're out there with the sun shining down on you, playing handball, working out, hitting pull-ups. Anyway, so I go, you know, I come in 7:30, and at this time I may have or I may not have, but I think I might have been working in the kitchen. And so when I was working in the kitchen, I would go in hella early, around 1 or 2 in the afternoon. We do everyone's dinner for them, and then I'd get out around 7:30 after helping shut the kitchen down, and I'd be swamped. So I get back to the pad, and I'm chilling with my celly. I got the light off. He's watching his TV. I done already showered. I'm cool, man. I'm already relaxed. My light's off, and my shows are starting to come on at 8 o'clock. So in this block particularly, they actually do the inlines and the outlines, which basically gives people a chance to go inside of the cells, grab something they need, come back out. Whether, you know, because you don't want to be on the doors. If the CO, the tower, he'll flash his light. If he sees you on somebody's cell door talking or trying to get something, not all the time, but some COs are very petty to where they'll actually send you back to your room, and you will be forfeiting your day room if they catch you doing that. So here I am, minding my own business. Like usual, trying to just stay out the way, right? And the little homie comes over. And when I say little homie, I don't mean physically. This kid is way taller than me, way bigger, but he's still just up in his head. He's still young. He's still a kid. So I was always on his ass like, bro, you need to stop doing this, or you need to try to do this. Just always, it was always something with him because he was a little crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? He was always pushing around the yard, pushing up on people, and he was just a little extra turned up. So, my celly at the time was actually one of my homies. So he comes to the door, Young Bear comes to the door, and he's like, hey, fool, he's like, come out on the next, he's like, hey, let me get your CD player. Let me borrow it. And I'm like, all right, hold on, give me a second. So I go and grab my CD player, and the CD player don't fit because I glued a piece onto my CD player it's like a little clip that you can, put on your hip if you're doing pull-ups, and it doesn't fall. So that made it just a little too fat to slip underneath the door. So I'm like, it doesn't fit, bro. And he's like, come on, bro. He's like, come outside to Dayroom. He's like, just give it to me out here. I was like, damn. I remember looking at him like, you bug, bro. You bug, man. I was, man, I'll be right out right now. Just give me a second, man. You bug, though. So I'm waiting. I'm flagging my door. You know, you make like these little flaggers. You turn your light on, you flagger, you stick it through the crack of the door. You just go like this. It could be a long piece of cardboard just to let the tower know that you're ready to go out. And if he doesn't see you flagging or your light on, there's a good chance he'll skip your cell. So I'm flagging. I'm like, man. So me and my celly both push out, me and Cricket. So now it's us three mobbing. As soon as I get out there, we're like, we're walking laps from A section to C section. And I'm noticing that the northern card at the time, we were good. But, a couple situations had, conspired, and it took place to where there was a little tensions kind of high for a minute, but not on this night. It shouldn't have been that way. So C section is not A section, and there's B section in between. So you never really know what's going on that section, who's talking to who, what the kind of situation is with your homies. So they're all drunk, man. Like it's nighttime thing. There's not much of them out there. I think that altogether there's probably like maybe six of them. So as I'm walking laps, I notice they're getting drunk. I can tell they're acting foolish, a little bent, a little turned up, getting real loud. They got the little boom box out there. So I'm like, damn, man, what's up with these? I'm telling the homies, what's up with these fools? And then, the young homie, he's a knucklehead. He's like, man, F them. Who cares? We can get down or whatever. And I'm like, man, fool, you're not thinking about money. You're not thinking about nothing that I could possibly have going on right now. You're just thinking foolish. So we continue pushing on, doing our laps or whatever. And I remember as I'm coming to do from B section back to A section, spinning the lap, I see one of my boy Shady from Harpies. He's always kind of been a little hustler. He's always been a businessman. I was with him in Corcoran. So when I saw him again in Pleasant Valley, we had already, we linked up quick, money-wise, doing business. But he wasn't one of my homies. He just was, he just was there. But he was a good dude, So he's on the door explaining himself to one of the main heads, to these little northern dudes. But that main head dude is not in Dayroom for whatever reason. He could have been on C status, CTQ. I don't know what his situation was, but he was not out there. And me and him were actually good. Me and the main head dude actually knew each other. I knew, we were good. So anyways, as I'm seeing the homie explaining himself, they're kind of like, I noticed that there's one other northern dude right next to him, like watching him, like basically like getting ready to steal on him. So I'm like, Shady, what's up, fool? You good? I didn't have to do that. You feel me? Like to this day, like I didn't have to do that. That's what started it all, especially around some drunk idiots. But you feel me? Like I'm not gonna let these cats, get to punking on, a homie. Period. So I'm like, you good? And then he's like, yeah, I'm good. G. He's like, let me trip. And then the northern dude turned around and he's like, what you mean? Is he good? And I was like, well, what the fuck you think I mean, bro? Like, what do you mean? And he steps up to me and he bangs his shit on me, right? He bangs his little gang on me and shit. And so I'm like, man, I don't give a fuck about none of that. And I banged my shit, what I was pushing at the time in prison. So I banged that on him. And I'll give it to him to this day, man. He straight cracked me. Whoo! With everything he had, he cracked me. It didn't do shit, man. It didn't. I'll be the first one. Listen, I'll be the first one to tell you. 3 times in prison. 3 times. My cellie in Tehachapi, this nigga named Showdown from Long Beach Rolling 20s. I got into a little melee with him. Me and him started off catching a fade. And Lalo, I want to say he was from SAC. Lalo from SAC. 3 dudes. Dope fiend. Like, what? I don't know if you would call it a dope fiend. It's from the front. Like, what do you want, an invitation to fight? Nah, I mean, it's time to fight. But 3 of them hit me as hard as they could. Didn't do nothing. I'm sorry. It just didn't happen. I'm not saying I win every single fight. No, I've lost. Trust me. I know what it's like. But 3 times this has happened. This was one of them. So he cracks me instantly. I don't even hit him with my right. I hit him with my jab. I hit him with my soft jab. You feel me? And I hit him as I'm going this way. I don't drop, but his punch, he had a heavy hand. So my face kind of went this way, but I caught him with the left and he dropped like a sack of potatoes. So when he dropped, I pretty much didn't, I wasn't even trying to stay up on him. Like he dropped like a sack of potatoes, dude. So I just let him drop. Well, the one thing I didn't pay attention to was that he dropped, but he was not unconscious. He didn't get knocked out. He just dropped. So I guess the moral of the story when it comes to that is make sure you finish the job, right? Like, don't have mercy. Don't spare these people mercy because they won't give it to you, right? If you're a good dude and you want a fair fight and you want to drop somebody, you want to get back up, let them quit when they're ready. Don't be that way because they're going to try to fuck you off. That's just the facts of being in prison and catching a fade, I guess. So anyways, he's on the floor and he grabs the back of my knees. He grabs my knees and sweeps me. Boom. So when I go down, I actually catch myself on my hand, but my thumb spread so far back. All of this was like purple and black. Like my hand just ripped because I caught my body weight on my hand. So as I'm like falling back and I'm trying to fight this dude, I noticed my CD player like almost completely busted over my own head, falling to the floor. Like it smacks me and then hits the floor. And I'm like, as much as I'm fighting this dude, I had to look up and see what the fuck is happening here. And when I look up, I just see Young Bear just falling right on top of me. So instantly, they're already fighting a couple other dudes. And they weren't even the other guy's homies. We were fighting it was another gang. And I guess they had some kind of pact, right? They had some kind of like agreement on the yard that they was like gonna roll together. And it was the first time I had seen these two gangs do that. So it was unexpected. Like these two guys literally that were a part of another gang were just sitting there in the day room on A section or C section where we were at. One of the sections, goddammit, away from the northern dudes. These dudes were from the Inland Empire gang. You know what I'm saying? I've already touched on all these gangs before. I'm not really gonna get too deep into the names and shit like that. But these two dudes was watching TV and literally just snaked. They snaked on us. They snaked. Well, they snaked on the homies. I was too busy fighting this motherfucker. So the funny thing is, at the end of the day, none of the northern guy, none of his homies even came from the other section. They just laid down where they was at. They didn't even run over or nothing. So it ended up being the northern dude and then these two other dudes versus me, Cricket, and Young Bear. So it was just a 3-on-3, but it was a good one. So these dudes, Young Bear ends up getting off on one of the dudes. Damn, where was he from? I want to say he was from like La Puente or something like that. I can't remember, but all I remember hearing is, well, they both got on this fool for a second. All I remember hearing was this fool saying that, hey, I'm done, I'm good. And the homies just chasing him. He had blood leaking down his face. His head was gashed completely open. Like, they literally had to staple, stitch, do all that crazy shit to his head. He got screwed. You could just hear him basically not wanting no problems. This is one of the dudes who snaked on us. And then the one that was with him, his celly, after I finished smashing on Laylo, I actually, remember I told you he was like next to, they were talking at that one dude's door, one of the main head dudes for the yard. I ended up smashing him out right on his door. So the whole time I'm smashing him out, old boy's on the door like, hey, bro, cut it out. Come on, bro. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I'm just, at this point, I'm just like giving him the business, stomping. This is after I got up, you know what I mean? And you know, you as you're fighting, you wrestle, you get up, you lose, you fall. But at the point, no matter what, he was a little bit on the heavy set side. He wasn't as physically, in tune as I was. He wasn't able to move as fast as I was, and he didn't hit as hard as I did, so he was getting mashed on. And it just is funny when I look back because I just remember like using his door as leverage to like hold up and just smashing him, kicking his head up against the door and everything. And finally I let him go. When I seen that when I seen he was completely neutralized, I let his bitch ass go. And I ended up going over to, not the dude who was running. They had already had him sewed up. Both of them were chasing him around. But his celly was from the IE, from Bettis, right? Anyone who knows where Paris is, they know it's like Inland Empire or whatever. So me and him we start locking it up, and he's more of a smaller, stocky individual, and he was quick, man. And trust me, like I've been in boxing, like I know when someone has technique, I can see it, I can smell it a mile away when someone actually knows how to box, like when they've been taught how to box, footwork and everything. So he starts boxing with me, and he's tagging me, but he hits like a bitch. So like every four of his hits that are hitting me, I'm cracking him one good one. And it's sending him flying back. But I am taking hits. I'm eating up his hits like nothing. Little bumps here, little bumps there, and shit, keeping my head down, getting cracked in the chin every now and then. But nonetheless, he was really frustrating me because I couldn't get my fucking paws on his ass long enough. He would just, he was in, out. Then when I would get him, it would like scare him. It would send him back, and then he would wait for me to rush in. So the thing when you rush in on somebody, it's a little bit more difficult when you're trying to chase somebody, play cat and mouse. You're more susceptible to catch a knockout, catch a hit to the face, whatever the case is. And then you guys got to remember too, I got the tower, right? This fucking dude, crazy postal motherfucker named Gunther. I'll probably make a video on this dude, man. This dude, he deserves a whole video. This fool was batshit crazy. And he's busting. He's shooting. My back's to him. He's got perfect aim. Now, I was cool with the floor cops who work the floor. So the whole time, he's kind of like a homie. The whole time I'm smashing and shit. And then as me and this fool are getting the head up, we're like going all through the day room, just catching the head up, boxing. The whole time he's like, man, he's just shaking his pepper spray. He's like, you guys got to hurry up, man. He's like, get the fuck down. He's like, you gotta hurry up, get the fuck down, man. I'm telling you guys, hurry the shit up, hurry it up, hurry it up. He never sprayed us one time. He just kept shaking while Guthrie, the trigger happy motherfucker in the tower, is just blasting away. Pa, 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 pa. Finally, what ends up happening is the other dudes got mashed out. This guy's still laying on the floor daydreaming about bunnies and rabbits and everything else. And the homies are like, well, what do we do? Fuck it, we're gonna pack this dude out. So they come running over to help me, and I don't need it. We're just, me and this cat are just boxing at this point. We're just throwing blow for blow. Just, it is what it is. We're having fun. Ain't no one getting dropped. We're just getting busy. But when they come over, he sees that, so he ends up taking off. Like, he backs off. And then he ends up laying down. So we just like, man, I'm like, man, fuck it, it's good, you know what I'm saying? And as we lay down, the one who's asleep wakes up. And when he wakes up, he's actually has the nerve to talk shit, right? He actually has the nerve to look at me and be like, yeah, bitch, do. Because he's drunk. Remember, they was all drinking. The northern dudes was all drinking. So I'm like, man, you want to jump up again? You want to go again? He said, nah. But listen, let me give you the moral of the story. The moral of the story is, if your gut tells you to stay your motherfucking ass inside, you stay inside, man. Watch your show. Hey, I'll get you the CD player tomorrow. I'll bring it to yard. I'll let you borrow it for a whole week, but tonight I'm chilling. That's the way I should have handled it. And then if I did go out, which I did, I absolutely should not have got my business. I should not have jumped in the homie's business, because although he's a good homie, Shady from Harpies, he's his own man. So looking back, definitely I would have not gotten involved in Shady's business. You know, I'm just very loyal. I've always been so loyal. Like, if I'm doing business with you, you didn't have to be a part of what I was a part of. I just was going to have your back. I was always for right is right, wrong is wrong. I don't care what part of the map you was from. If I'm down with you and someone's like trying to bully you or punk on you, then yeah. And see, Shady ain't no punk, but Shady's just a businessman. See, Shady doing life. He's just a businessman. He's all about his money. So he would rather, you know, handle things a lot differently than, he's more like, you know, Robert De Niro in Goodfellas. I was more like Joe Pesci, how I handled the situations. And, you know, it ended up resulting in me being stuck, being charged with a DA referral for battery with a weapon on an inmate during a riot, during the commission of a riot. Me, Bear, Cricket, we all went to the hole. Them three went to the hole. Nobody said nothing. However, all the reports were written that I was the one who did the most damage on the cat that I didn't even touch. So cause I was closest to going home. So they were trying to slap that other charge on me and give me another fucking 10 years possibly. Who knows? Because he was fucked off, man. They didn't find a weapon, you know, anything and everything that was included was no longer there or just wasn't found. I don't know the situation, how it played out. All I do know is I had to jump through hoops. I had Young Bear confessing, saying it was me. I'm the one who did it. I had the actual victim saying that I didn't even touch him, that me and him never actually fought. I'm talking about the victim who got, because they all got fucked up, but I'm talking about the one who had the open gash and everything. And then I had a lot of witnesses saying that I fought specifically these inmates, not that they saw me fighting these inmates, right? None of that worked. The only thing that worked is when I went in there and I said, look, sir, out of all these years, I've done a lot of bullshit. I've had a lot of shoe terms and a lot of write-ups. If you just pull up my file right now, you will see that I plead guilty every time. I don't even play that whole, I'm going to fight every single last, nah. If I did it and I got caught, sent me to the shoe, I did it. I was like, this one though, I'm not pleading guilty to this shit. I was like, so you can look it up. So he actually had me escorted out of the room, pulled me back in 5 minutes later and was like, the only reason I'm going to drop this right up to a participation in a riot is because you were telling the truth. You've always pled guilty. You've always pled guilty. He's like, so for that reason, he says, not for your fucking witnesses, not for your homeboys saying they did it. No other reason other than what you just told me. It checked out. So, hope you guys like the crazy ass little story I was sharing with you, man. Much love, much respect. You already know how we do it. Tap in. Don't forget to smash that like button and hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet. Doses.